Hi, I'm Mitchell Dale and this is RLW TV. Joined on the couch today by Martin Lenihan from Rugby League Week, Eric Groth from the Cronulla Sharks. Boys, State of Origin 1, Wednesday night. Wow.
That was one of the, if not the best game I've ever witnessed of rugby league in my time on this planet. That was so fun to watch. It was so good how we won against a few dodgy calls, in my opinion. Some of the players, some of the efforts, it's just phenomenal. They looked absolutely busted after the game, and to see them just scrape and crawl through that, it was just phenomenal.
You've seen Queensland always do it. There's a patch in the game where they just come really hard. They pin New South Wales on their own line. They have all the territory and they just roll over the top of them. Eventually the damn wall breaks, but it just didn't break from New South Wales.
Yeah, it was about 50th minute, wasn't it, on Wednesday night? Nate Miles just went to another level. He was freakish, and it went for about half an hour. Just unrelenting pressure, the courage of New South Wales. Brett Morris, everyone knows his shoulder was busted, still somehow stops Darius Boyd. You know, I think a lot of people have spoken about what the passion of Origin and New South Wales don't have it and don't get it. Well, I'm sorry, they've got it. They understand it. That was just an epic.
They've more than got it, haven't they? There's no way that can ever be questioned again. Mate, just watching that awful familiar feeling of, oh no, here they come, they're making a comeback. You can just feel it, and for the Blues to hold that off for the first time in a long time, mate, I can't wait for game 2. That's just going to be a ball terror.
Well, speaking of game 2, there are going to be changes. Obviously, Josh Reynolds is going to be very lucky if he gets off, if he even contests.
Yeah, look, I think he won't be there. Pretty bad tackle, you got to say. I think probably lucky Bo Scott put him down and he ended up flat. Not the best look, that one. So yeah, that's a big change for New South Wales. I thought Reynolds was good in his starting.
Yeah, I've got to say he added a lot of energy. I mean, that's what you thought he was going to do. We talked about it on the show a few weeks ago and said he'll just be in there and he'll be tenacious. It's exactly what he did. He annoyed the hell out of Jonathan Thurston and the rest of the Queenslanders.
So what do they do at 5'8", boys?
It's a tough one, mate, because, yeah, like we spoke about, he was a bit of the X factor last night. Obviously Haynes as well, but just did exactly what everyone thought he would do. And you're never going to have to guess with him. What are you going to do? I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, look, I'm going to go with James Maloney. I think he was there last year. John Sutton, Todd Carney. Well, Todd Carney's injured. John Sutton's not playing bad footy. I just think probably James Maloney for me.
Been there and done it. Yeah, I think he can be there for the Blues.
And look, he's a very similar player in terms of how passionate and aggressive he is in every play. So maybe different build and a little bit different athletically, but yeah, as far as determination and tenacity goes, you can't go wrong there either.
Yep. The other talking point for New South Wales will be Anthony Watmough. Interestingly, he told Rugby League Week that he's had this problem all year. They've been saying it's an elbow or a shoulder, the Seagulls. It's been his bicep. It's gone a little bit, but he's hoping that it's torn off the bone, in which case he can bandage it up and go on. If you popped a gun, Eric, would you be playing the following week?
Mate, I'd be out for 3 years with full pay. That's what I'd be doing. No, mate, it's funny. It's actually true. It's the same with when you do your medial in your knee. If it's hanging on by a thread, so to speak, with the nerves there, it's actually a lot more painful than if it's completely torn. So it's like a rupture and there's no nerve endings getting interfered with there. So it's funny, but yeah, it makes sense. But I can't see if it's completely torn off the bone. It doesn't mean it just works if you strap it up. So it'll be a special effort if he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Better him than us on that one.
100%.
If he does play, Greg Bird has to come back into the side. So who's the unlucky bloke that misses out?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I think Bird will obviously bring a lot to the side. I think back there with his mate Paul Gallen, they missed him in the first game. I think he'll add a lot of intensity to the side. Luke Lewis didn't get a lot of game time to prove himself. So
he upped the tempo when he came on, though.
He did,
I mean, for a bloke who's played 2 games since last November, he really added something, I thought.
Louis is one of them blokes. It's a bit deceiving. You don't realise how big, strong and fast that guy is, mate. Honestly, like I stand next to him and you're not looking up to him, but you're almost eye level and you just don't think of him as a big dude, you know. And I'm 6'4" and he's not far off that, and he's just so thick and hard and strong. It's he's fast feet too. One of the things people don't realise is how quick he is to the line, the defensive line, and what he does when he gets there. He's actually a lot more special than people give him credit for.
Yep. So who does miss out, boys?
Don't know.
I'll say Luke Lewis, despite the raps there. Obviously, Cooper Cronk is the other huge injury out of the game with the broken arm. Queensland have got the ready-made replacement with Cherry Evans. It was obviously tough for him in game one to come in so early in the game, but you know, with the full training and weeks to prepare, he'll be a lot better in game two.
I think with Luke Lewis getting more game time under his belt over the next few weeks, I don't think there's any way they can leave him out. I think he's too valuable a player and he can cover a lot of positions. Maybe Hoffman?
Yeah, could be. Could be very unlucky to miss out on a gutsy performance like that. And to your point, Leno, about Cooper Cronk, I think the Maroons will be much more settled with Cherry Evans training there all week. Finally, would you keep Josh Papali if you were Queensland, or is there a chance to maybe change and bring in someone like Dave Taylor?
Yeah, look, I think Papali and McQueen were probably the two. They're playing off the bench for their clubs. They went with loyalty. They'd been there before. I don't think either of them had a big impact on the game. I think they could do a lot worse than have Dave Taylor come in and run rampant off the bench.
Yeah, I think with a bloke like Dave Taylor and blokes like Hayne, a lot of it's confidence, and he's confident at the moment. Why would you put a speed hump in that? Like, use it. Let him run right and against the Blues.
Yeah. Now you mentioned
Don't pick him. He's crap.
You mentioned Jared Hayne. Have you ever seen him play better? Obviously, 2009 he was phenomenal, but has he surpassed that now, taking his game to on a different level, but to a new level?
I think so. In terms of maturity, I think he's handling this a bit like a seasoned vet now, but back in 2009 it was kind of fresh and new, and he was still young and up and coming, and that was the first lot of brilliance we'd seen consecutively from Hainsey. But mate, last night he was playing like he'd been playing the game for 40 years. He dominated. I loved how New South Wales shifted the ball straight to him, an immediate impact, an immediate threat to Queensland, and basically they were packing darkies all game every time he got anywhere near the ball. So mate, he's just dominating. Let him go, mate. Off the leash, go for it.
Yep. Let him run wild. Well, we'll see what the changes are next week for both sides, but one thing we can be certain of is that there will be a few new faces in either camp.